All right, so now that we know the slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines, we're now going to write the equational line that passes through this point and is parallel to y equals 1/2 x minus 2. All right, so the first thing I want to refresh your memory is about the point slope form. So anytime you're going to write an equation, you need two things. You need to know a point, and you need to know the slope of the line. So I'm going to go ahead and jot that down. The equation is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this point, so the x-coordinate of the point is going to be your x of 1 right here. And the y-coordinate, let's use blue, the y-coordinate of that point is going to be y sub 1. So we're going to just plug it in to y sub 1. And then, of course, the m represents your slope. So our slope of this line is going to be 1/2. And since it does say we want the equation of a line that passes through that point and is parallel, you know it has to have the same slope. So we're going to just replace this equation with the same slope. All right, so here we go. We're going to go ahead and plug it all in. So the first thing I always say to do, step 1 is to write the equation. Then step 2 is going to be write the equation, but wherever there's the y sub 1, the slope, and the x sub 1, we're going to go ahead and leave a blank spot because we're going to replace it with an actual number. And so you always want to write y minus, leave a blank spot, equals a blank spot, x minus, leave a blank spot. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug in our y coordinate, which is -1, and we're going to go ahead and put it here, -1. We're going to put in our slope, which is 1/2. And we're going to go ahead and put in our x sub 1, which is -2. And it's really important that you write the equation first and then the number, because as you can see here, we have two negatives right next to each other. So in both of those problems, we're going to have to change them to positives because a negative and a negative right next to each other becomes a positive one. And same thing with here. Negative and a negative, that ends up being x plus 2. And what we're going to do now is, since we have it in point slope form, but we really want it in slope intercept form. So we're going to go ahead and take that slope, that 1/2, and we're going to distribute it into the parentheses. So remember, distribute just means multiply. So the left side, you're just going to leave alone. And then we're going to go ahead and multiply. So what's 1/2 times 1? We know that's just 1/2 x. And what is 1/2 of 2? We know that's just 1. Or you can think of this line right here as dividing. So what is 2 divided by 2? It is 1. And we're almost done. So we distributed our 1/2. And now we're going to have to get the y all by itself. So the y has a plus 1 next to it. So we got to move it to the other side. And we're going to subtract 1 from each side. And then when we do that, we get 1/2 x, and 1 minus 1 is 0, and that is going to be our equation. You can write plus 0 if you'd like, but we could just write it y equals 1/2 x.